Joined with swimming coach Jon Lederhouse, been previewing his upcoming season. Coach, you come off a season where you won both conference championships yet again, a very successful season in that right, and your women's team finished in the top 10 at nationals. What were your thoughts at the end of last season, having pulled all that off?
We had a very good last season. We saw a lot of significant time improvements. We got places as a result that enabled us to win in the conference championships and the national championships. 10th place was a bit of a surprise. Didn't expect us to be quite that high in the rankings, but it was a very good season. We're looking forward to this year again.
Obviously, trying to keep hanging those banners above the pool is a big goal, but do you see a few of the conference challengers kind of rising up a little bit this year to challenge your team?
Well, as has been the case for about 10 years now, Carthage College is giving us the biggest challenge for the competition, and it's a team title in the conference for both men and women. On the men's side, Rose-Hulman has gotten significantly better the past few years, and so I would say on the men's side, Rose-Hulman is in the hunt likewise for a conference championship. On the women's side, Illinois Wesleyan is extremely strong in the individual races, doesn't quite have the depth right now, I don't think, to challenge for a team title. So on the women's side, it's probably Carthage and Wheaton.
Outside of obviously the conference championships, what are some of the goals or expectations you put forth for your team this year?
Well, the conference championships for the team as a whole is our primary focus. We also look to see who could make it to the qualifying standards for the national championship. We have one girl returning who's a multiple event winner at the national championships, so for her focus is obviously on those national championships primarily. But for the rest of the team, individual qualifying is still a stretch for them for the national championships, so that the conference meet is our primary focus, with the goal of, if possible, moving on from there to the national championships.
Who are some of the key performers that you expect to see big things and low numbers from this season?
Well, returning, as I said, we have a woman, Kirsty Nitz, who has won 3 events at the national championships as a freshman, so that will be a challenge for her to go and defend her titles in those events, or if she chooses to swim other events, that may be interesting to see what might happen there. We have a returning conference swimmer of the meet, Wills Francis. I had to think, because there's a different conference swimmer of the year, and on the men's side, Rose-Hulman boy won the swimmer of the year, but Wills Francis, our boy, won the conference swimmer of the meet. And he's returning to defend his 3 championships from last year in the conference meet, and hopefully get selected to nationals this year. So those are 2 of our top kids that are returning. We have others that are significant. We had a total of 9 girls at the national championships last year, and that did not include Katie Deischer, who just missed getting selected. She was a double winner at conference in 2 events and a runner-up in a 3rd. So she's our 2nd highest scorer returning on the women's side. On the men's side, we have a number of guys returning who are in the hunt. Some, like Hayes Wilkerson, have won in the past. Others, like Jonathan Lake, did win last year in the 200 breaststroke. And so we've got some exciting returning action from them.
You mentioned the returners that participated in the national event. What does being in that surrounding and that environment do for your athletes coming back and having that to build on and push them? But what does just the experience do to kind of push your athletes?
Okay. Well, the national championships for some kids is overwhelming, and for other kids brings out the best in them, and that's the case for any collection of athletes. Sometimes you get a person to nationals for the first time and it's just all excitement and they do great. Other times they get there the first time and it's a little overwhelming and they don't feel like they belong. So that varies from athlete to athlete, from year to year. So I can't say what this year will be like. Now, for the kids that have been there before, coming back, it usually means they are better equipped to handle that level of pressure.
Who are some of the new names this year that we can expect to make an impact for your team?
We didn't have a large recruiting group. We have 4 guys and 3 girls is all this year, so that was kind of disappointing to not have greater numbers, but we do have some good quality. We have one young lady who's a freshman, Erin Bagley, and she's the local girl from the city of Wheaton, from the Wheaton High School team and the Wheaton Swim Club. She already in her career is faster than our college varsity records in the 100 and 200 yard breaststroke. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she might be able to do this year. She has a good shot to win those events at our conference meet and a good shot to be selected in the national championships. Then on the men's side, we have two very strong distance swimmers. We have one boy coming in who's very close to, well, he's faster than our existing record in the 1650, and the other boy is the little brother of one of our returning conference aces, Corey Clements' little brother Jacob. So Jacob and then his counterpart Will McCauley, those two freshman boys, are a real good addition to our training program and to our competition.
I know it's a long ways down the road, but when you look at where your team will be in March, what are some of the expectations you have for this team, knowing what talent you have this year?
Well, our conference championships are middle of February, and I would say both squads belong contending for a championship. It'll depend on how the other teams do and how we do. I can't say we are exceptionally favored on the guys' side. We might be considered a slight favorite on the guys' side. We would be considered the favorite on the girls' side, the women's side. We do have a strong squad right now, but looking ahead, we have 8 really good senior ladies who are going to be graduating. So next year will be a significant difference. This year we're still probably the odds-on favorite for the conference championship on the women's side. Then for the national meet, we should have a good contingent returning to the national meet, and adding if we can add 1 or 2 more individual scorers for the women at the national championships, we could move up higher in the top 10. On the guys' side, it's just a matter of can we get individuals selected to the meet, and if possible, some relays selected. So we don't have any guys that are top-notch scorer potentials at this point at the national meet.
You mentioned the relays. Last year relays were really a strength of your team. Is that something we can see again this year?
Yes, I would say for the conference championships, our relays will be key, and the gals should. I will be disappointed if the gals don't sweep all 5 relays in the conference meet, and I think we should be able to get 4 out of our 5 relays scoring well at the national championships. On the guys' side, freestyle relays were pretty strong. Medley relays remains to be seen if we can win those. We were second in those last year, and then we won some freestyle ones.